What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to check this one out, as Trump's latest ICE operation just flooded the streets of North Carolina, and now Democrats across the state are doing everything in their power to stop this immigration enforcement. Guys, I'm excited to get to this one, so we'll hop straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Good evening, Jesse. We are only on day 4 of this operation, and DHS says that it has already arrested more than 200 illegal immigrants, and the operation is getting a ton of support, as DHS says that many of these people have criminal backgrounds involving things like assault, gang affiliation, drunk driving, and more. But as you can see by this protest, there is also a lot of pushback towards this immigration crackdown, and I'll take a little walk to show our viewers a better look at this. But right now where we are has been sort of a hot spot for these protests, and that is because we are outside of a Latino bakery here in Charlotte that is temporarily closing, and that's because the owner says that ICE is targeting its customers, and we know that other businesses have closed as well. The school system here says 21,000 kids have been absent since this immigration crackdown, and the mayor says that people aren't showing up to their jobs, particularly in the housekeeping and construction industry. But we have seen a lot of people have some pretty tense reactions because of this. We've seen people who spot ICE agents cussing at them, yelling at them. We know that there has been 2 separate car ramming incidents just here in Charlotte alone, and that comes as DHS says that they have seen an unprecedented surge in car rammings towards CBP and ICE agents. But Homeland Security says it isn't slowing down. ICE agents were spotted in the Raleigh-Durham area today, and Louisiana's governor says New Orleans is next.
All right, folks, so it looks like we're getting a bit of a deja vu moment here. This reminds me of what we seen in Operation Midway Blitz over there in Chicago, Illinois, with that Governor J.B. Pritzker and the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Both of those folks fought it nail and tooth against the Trump administration's efforts to clean up the migrant and crime crisis in their city, their state. But none of it helped. None of it worked, to no avail. We've seen exactly what President Trump was trying to do is what was achieved over in Chicago, and that's ultimately what's going to happen here in Charlotte, North Carolina. But the governor, Josh Stein, is begging to differ. This guy is coming out and saying that he is going to stand in the way of this operation. He's going to be the one to stop the Trump administration.
So I can't speak. We don't know how many people they've detained. We don't know how many of them have criminal records. We don't know pretty much anything. They're operating in the shadows. They're driving around Charlotte in unmarked cars, wearing paramilitary garb, masks, stopping people on the street randomly based on the color of their skin. This is not promoting safety in our communities. The people of North Carolina deserve to be safe. We need to make sure that we're doing everything in our power to keep them safe. That's why I have asked the General Assembly to help fund and to recruit more talented local law enforcement agencies. We have a lot of vacancies in local law enforcement agencies. We need more local law enforcement. These are people who are trained in law enforcement and who will be here for the long haul serving their communities. They're not going to come in, do whatever they do, and then leave and move to the next place.
This is a state that has supported the president for 3 straight elections, support his agenda. There's going to be a lot of voters that want to see this happen. I mean, what is your message to the other half of North Carolina who thinks this is operating right?
Yeah, people need to be safe, and we need to do everything we can. And if this were targeted to going after known people who are criminals or known people who are drug traffickers who are engaged in violent crime, that would be a good thing. But they're just sweeping sidewalks, they're sweeping parking lots, they're going into stores and churches. This is causing widespread fear, widespread uncertainty. This is not about public safety, and I wish that it were.
And I'm so tired of this narrative coming from these loonies on the left. Absolutely fed up with hearing them trying to argue and speak for the entire base. All of Trump voters to say that we did not vote for this, what we're seeing. We voted for the worst of the worst. These criminal gang members and those types of individuals to be deported, and that's it. That's where you draw the line. No, I'm going to tell you right now, President Donald Trump did not mince any words or beat around the bush when he said this is going to be one of the largest deportation operations that our nation has ever seen underneath the Trump administration. And he got tons of votes behind it. That's exactly what we're looking for. If you cross that border illegally, guess what? You are a criminal. You committed a crime right there. We can't do that in any other country, but yet we're supposed to accept that here in the United States of America. Get out of here with that. And if you guys don't believe it's bad over in Charlotte, just take a look at this.
Tonight, Charlotte, North Carolina is the latest city to see a surge in immigration enforcement. Officers today started detaining people. The city is made up of more than 900,000 people, including more than 150,000 who are foreign-born, according to officials. Local leaders object to the federal force, saying it instills fear and uncertainty.
Yep, you guys heard that correctly. There is 900,000 residents in Charlotte, North Carolina, and 150,000 of them are illegal. I mean, come on now. You're telling me this is not needed. We're instilling fear in the community, but the only folks who are afraid are those who are not supposed to be in the country in the first place. And we also had ICE Commander Greg Bovino weighing in, actually calling out Governor Josh Stein of North Carolina. Check this one out.
It's staggering. But, you know, I think that there's something that the viewers need to know. And those attacks started or almost coincided with Governor Stein's heated rhetoric. It's starting again here in North Carolina, here in Charlotte. His heated rhetoric where he said that we were racists and that we were not conducting our operations in a lawful manner. Very soon after he said that, we started seeing the violence. So I put a lot of the blame on our elected leadership here in North Carolina, especially that governor that says those things that are outright lies.
Greg Bovino hits the nail right on the head, where he calls out Governor Josh Stein of North Carolina for the trend that we were seeing, the uptick of assaults and attacks on ICE agents across our nation after their dangerous rhetoric, the message, the false narrative that they've been pushing against our ICE agents, attempting to demonize them in the public's eye, to say that they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing. They're just sweeping and picking up anyone at random because of their skin color, and that's not the case whatsoever. We also had our border czar Tom Homan jumping on the case of these folks that want to get in the way of ICE arrests, these targeted arrests across the state of North Carolina. He says, you get in the way, guess what? The same thing that happened over Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago is what you're going to see. There is no different. We're going to continue to flood the zone until we clean up the crisis.
You're looking live, Mr. Homan, of some shots. Big protest out in Charlotte where Charlotte's web is unfolding. Well, what would you say to those people out on the street threatening ICE officers, all wound up at night?
You cross the line, you're going to be prosecuted. You slash a tire, you're going to be prosecuted. You impede ICE, you're going to be prosecuted. Pam Boendi's doing a great job. President Trump told me personally months ago, zero tolerance. You break the law, you impede us, you will be prosecuted by the federal government. I'd also ask them what they have achieved. What did they achieve in LA protests and Chicago protests and Charlotte protests and New York City? What did they achieve? I'll tell you what they achieved. Every time they do this, they achieve more officers are sent to do these operations, more arrests are made, and we flood the zone with more officers. The results of all this foolishness, more arrests, more safety on the street, more ICE officers, they're not going to stop us from doing this. We're going to be there tonight. We're going to be there tomorrow. We're going to be there every day because President Trump made a promise to the American people that we're going to have the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen. By the end of the week, we'll be over 600,000 deportation, historic record. And that's just since President Trump's been in office. We're not even counting the first 4 months of the Biden administration during the fiscal year.
Wow.
So we're going to keep doing this job. We are not walking away. We're keeping President Trump's promise to make this country safe again, one illegal criminal at a time.
Promises made, promises kept. Exactly what we're experiencing here with President Donald Trump, a man of his word. I mean, he said that he was going to carry out one of the largest deportation operations this country has ever seen, ever witnessed, and that's exactly what we're getting. And I think you guys could already guess what came next over in North Carolina, Charlotte to be specific. Just take a look. Yep, you're seeing it, guys. A large convoy of 30 plus Border Patrol vehicles arriving in the heart of their city. And guess what? They asked for this. You stand in the way, you try to stop this, it's going to get even worse. The zone is going to be flooded. This is exactly what was called for here. And then right on the heels of Operation Charlotte's Web kicking off in North Carolina, we've seen the libs, the Dems, the loonies on the left absolutely losing their stuff, with one woman even bragging about helping illegals evade ICE. You can't make this stuff up.
I'm a member of several groups here in Charlotte that are working behind the scenes to make sure that our migrant community, immigrant communities are safe while conditions are icy. So I'm here along with a bunch of other concerned people to make sure that families feel safe, that children get home safe, and that families know that they don't have to come out and put themselves at risk while this is happening.
Sure, I think it's a really coordinated effort.
Very coordinated effort.
What do you think about that? Like that effort to do this?
I think that it's abhorrent that we have to do it, but the response has been incredible in the community, and I'm so glad that people are stepping up and putting themselves out there to protect our neighbors and our friends and community members.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Trump, can I say that?
Absolutely shaking my head with this situation. These folks just won't ever learn until they're finally held accountable. It's time to arrest these folks for obstruction of justice and impeding a federal official. You cannot get in the way of this operation. There's nothing you can do to stop this. But tell this to these local owners of business who are now shutting down shop to avoid their patrons and workers being arrested by ICE and ultimately deported back to their home countries.
Today I get to tell you on why we're closed. As you guys have seen, there have been a huge impact and a huge growth in ICE detentions, Border Patrol presence here in Charlotte, in the Queen City. So right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. We have shut down. We are an ice cream shop that 80%, 90% of our customers are Latino. As of right now, I cannot take the risk to bring my employees to be profiled because a lot of them speak Spanish. They look like me. I look like the profile that they're looking for. So it is a risk that I am not willing to take.
So we're seeing a full-on community operation. They're coming together to attempt to impede the arrest of these illegal migrants and sending them back to their home countries. But I don't believe that's going to work for long. We already see what happened in Chicago with Operation Midway Blitz. They brought out the whistles to alert folks that ICE agents were in the area. That didn't work. They tried to ram officials with their cars. That didn't stop anything. It just made the situation even worse. Flooding the zone. So we're going to continue to see this across the nation until the mass deportation operation is, complete. That's the only way that this is going to stop, until these folks realize you either self-deport or you're going to get hunted down by ICE agents. Now we're seeing the protesters gathered, waving their flags all over the place, and I've got a couple of questions for them. Now, guys, I've got tons of questions running through my mind right now, but there is one in particular that really boggles my mind. So I'm really trying to figure it out. We see these folks time and time again with the ICE operations. ICE swoops into town. We see the anti-ICE protests where folks are hooting and hollering in the streets, burning the American flag, but then waving their flag of their home country, whether that be Mexico or Argentina, whatever country you're from. They're waving these all around. But why won't they go and do this at home? It doesn't make sense to me why these folks come over to our country and then protest us so that we don't send them back to the country that they love so much. I mean, it just doesn't make much sense to me whatsoever. But again, we're going to see the same exact thing, the same response from ICE that we've been seeing across the nation. What we've seen in Chicago, what we've seen in LA, what we've seen in DC with, the federal National Guard being deployed. Either way, the operation is going to be completed. They've got tasks to complete, a job at hand, and they're going to get it done every single time, no matter if you guys are hooting and hollering, waving these flags or not. ICE agents, federal agents do not care. But guys, I'm gonna end this one off with some good news. Apparently things are starting to look up in Charlotte already. According to this text here, just the other day, it reads, so there's like no traffic this morning. Some of the gas stations that are normally packed down with Mexicans are empty. Normally it takes me about 50 minutes to get to work. It used to take me 25 to 30 minutes. And today, that's how long it's taking, about 30 minutes. So there's no traffic, huh? because folks are scared hiding out. It's because they're not supposed to be in this country in the first place. And they concede on their text thread saying all this after just 100 arrests for deportations yesterday in Charlotte. My buddy said that Home Depot is empty this morning. Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. When will these loonies on the left learn that no matter what they do, they are not stopping the Trump administration and his agenda to deport, a massive deportation agenda that he has promised and swore to on the campaign trail? There is nothing you can do to stop this man once he gets going. I mean, just think about it. What we've seen over the course of the last few months with President Donald Trump and his agenda, his administration has not messed around when it came to cleaning up the crime crisis that our nation is facing and the migrant crisis that we're seeing in all these sanctuary and welcoming cities across our country. It's just not going to stop. This guy has made too many promises along the campaign trail. He was voted in almost in a mandate with folks really agreeing with him on crime, economy, the border. We can't continue to allow our country to be just going downhill, spiraling out of control. We let them have their chance with Joe Biden. These libs need to step out of the way before they get themselves into some serious trouble, because that's what's going to happen next. But I don't believe they're going to stop. Honestly, they're not going to stop. And so President Donald Trump says, hey, I'm drawing a line. For any of these folks that believe they're going to stop, impede ICE agents from doing their jobs, guess what? We're going to start arresting and prosecuting these individuals to the fullest extent. That's the only way. That's honestly the only way that I believe this is going to work without libs trying to step in the way, because we can see they're just way too entitled. They feel like they hold really that type of power, authority in order to stop ICE agents, federal agents from committing or from conducting their duties. Their federal orders from President Donald Trump. That's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. But again, we're dealing with folks that are so far out in la la land with that Trump derangement syndrome. They can't see the facts of the matter with this situation. The same thing we've seen in Operation Midway Blitz over in Chicago. The same thing we've seen in LA when folks were given pushback with the National Guard being sent in. The same thing that we've seen in Washington, D.C. when the troops were sent in. I mean, there is nothing you can do when President Trump sets his mind on it, guys. But definitely hop in the comment section. I'm going to continue to follow this one every step of the way. But my question for you guys today is, what do you believe President Trump is going to do if the Democratic leadership in North Carolina, like Governor Josh Stein, continues to stand in the way of ICE operations? Hop in that comment section, guys. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, we'll catch you guys on the next one.